Mhm.
So tell me your first period story. Can you paint a picture for me, like how old you were, where you were, who was around you? What are the details you remember?
So this is when my first period arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 13 years old and 8 months, I think. And I was in Bucharest, in Romania. Yeah, it must have been like around August time. Um, and yeah, I remember that before that I had like the hairs growing like on my armpit, and it's like my body was changing. I was getting like the nipples were like pointy, like pink. And it arrived, and yeah, it wasn't I guess celebrated, but it was not dismissed either. It was like a neutral thing of feeling,
Mm-hmm.
around it. My dad knew, and my sister, and my mom. So I don't remember much if they actually sat down with me to tell me what happens, or yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
felt like something very new and exciting for me.
Mm-hmm. And where were you? Can you remember? Were you at school or were you at home or somewhere else?
I was at home. I think I was at home. I only remember the home beat. I am
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was at home because we have really long summer holidays. So I think, yeah, so it was August time. We were still having holidays then.
Yeah. And how
I
old's your
was
sister? Is she older or younger?
She's younger. She's 2 years younger.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, very good. And is she married and does she have a family?
No, she's single. She's in Spain. So
Okay.
I am here in Edinburgh, and she's in Spain. Yeah.
And what was that relationship like? Were you there for her when she had her period as the older sister?
I wasn't. No, never thought about that. I don't know. I don't even know when she got her period. My goodness. That's very bad. We need to have a talk about this. With her. I don't know. Like when it arrived for her. I don't know anything about it.
Mhm.
Like, mm-mm.
And then when you were growing up as teenagers, did you talk about it together? Were you like, did you notice if you're on the period at the same time?
No, I don't remember any of that. So interesting how obviously, well, my period was very erratic as well. I had issues with that, but I think it was just simply my body learning to have a period. So it's not like you go from nothing to having a period every month. At least not my body. My body needed um, almost like 2 years for me to have a period every month,
Mm.
and put on the pills really soon.
Mhm.
Because apparently it was classified as a problem.
Okay.
But So my period was not like natural. It came with when I would stop the pills for 7 days, and that's when I would get a period. So it was kind of artificial, and
Mhm.
my sister wasn't on that. But we didn't talk about it. Interestingly, like no.
Mhm. And what about with your mum? Did she have conversations with you before your period? Like before you got it when you were like 12, 11, 12 at all?
No, I don't remember that. And like, not really. No, she didn't. And I remember being taken to the side at school. All girls would go and have like a check, a medical check, and we were asked if we had our periods, and I had no idea what they were asking about. And I asked the other kids, and I don't know. The explanation was, yeah, I don't even want to think about it. Uh, I was so like, oh my God, what is this? I don't understand what's happening. And so, yeah, I didn't have any preparation for it from my family. Mm.
And then what about when you got your period? Do you remember the conversation with your mum then? Like, was she open, or could you go to her, or was it just a one-off conversation, or what happened there?
Yeah, I think there was a one-off conversation. She was open and I think she was reassuring, but I don't remember the words that she said. The feeling was that everything is okay, everything is healthy, this is normal, and this is what's happening. This is what's gonna happen every month, and yeah, I don't know, but there wasn't very much more than that.
Okay. And did you know when your mum was on her period at all?
Like not really, unless she, put her tampons in the bathroom and they were just there, like the package was there, and maybe that way I would know, but not really. No.
And do you feel you have an open relationship with your mum, that you can talk to her about anything?
Yeah, maybe a bit too open.
Okay.
Maybe a bit too much. Like, yeah, yeah. I can talk about these things, and sometimes it's more like friends than mom and daughter. So sometimes boundaries are not that clear.
Yeah.
But mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how do you think her attitude towards, well, it sounds to me that she was there if you needed to open up to her, but I don't know, there wasn't much conversation around periods. So how do you think that shaped your journey of your relationship with your period as you grew up?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, for a lot of the time, it was just like a functional thing that, okay, I knew it's part of the design and it will happen every month. And I just did what it needed to be done to be clean. And I took ibuprofen. I mean, I had this kind of relationship, like very functional and matter of fact in my 20s. And then it changed, like lately, and the more I started to do women's work, the more I changed my relationship. So it feels like it's more like a conversation inside and much more spiritual feeling around it, that it's actually something very sacred and something very beautiful. And I do have this feeling of like relief and celebration when it arrives.
Yeah.
And I do respect most of the cycles I take off in my first day, and I rest in bed. So it's like a protected time for me.
Yeah. And when did that change happen? How old were you when the shift happened?
Like in the last, okay, especially since I went off birth control. So that's about 9 years ago. So
Okay.
when I decided from my intuition that this is terrible for my body and I don't want to have anything to do with it, and I will never take it in my life again. And yeah, when I went off all those hormones, so yeah, that was about at least 7 to 9 years ago.
Wow. And what was it like coming off the birth control? What happened to you?
Yeah, it was very tough because I had a lot of bleeding. Like my body went into this confusion, and it didn't. I had a period that lasted for over 20 days and pretty heavy bleeding. So I had to doctor, and I had the experience of being told that, you know, that I have some dysfunction. Like the doctor was diagnosing me without even looking, just looking at me from the seat, telling me I have this dysfunction of the womb, and I need to take more hormones. And I felt so patronized and so alone and unsupported in that. But I just continued to I continued my path, and somehow eventually it stopped. The bleeding stopped on its own. I didn't go back to taking more hormones. But it took a while, and I took herbs like to support myself. I took the Agnus castus herb for like 6 months or more to just help my body relearn how to have a period, and that really helped. After that, then slowly my body learned how to produce her own hormones, and how to have a monthly cycle, and now I have it. It just took a while. It took a long time.
Amazing. And what about your emotions when you got off the pill? Like, what happened with your emotions?
Well, I was getting a lot of headaches when I was on the pill, and I was very depressed. I was really all over. And yeah, the headaches were really bad, and also the cramps were really bad. And after I went off, they started to become not a problem for me anymore. Like they were still there, but in the background. And emotionally, I'm not sure I was that aware, you know, that I don't think I had that awareness at that time to track myself like this. Emotionally, I wasn't as in touch or aware or like vigilant. So I can't quite say what happened emotionally. But definitely physically, I got the change that I didn't have the headaches and the cramps as much.
Yeah.
And I guess I felt closer to myself. I felt like I chose myself. I felt like I was defending my body, and that I was standing up and having a voice for her, and not just letting myself be diagnosed and put on pills like after 10 minutes conversation, not even a conversation, just being told what to do. It's, you know, it was empowering to say, I will go through this process and I will persevere and have a voice and do what my body is asking me to do. Yeah.
And how old were you when you were started on birth control, and how old were you when you got off? And how many years was that you were on it?
So I was I think I was maybe 14 and a half or 15 when I went on it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, really young. Yeah, very young. And then I went off, I think at 25.
Okay.
Or 27.
So 12 years. 12 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 12 years of being on artificial hormones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different kind. Yeah, also the NuvaRing, I was using that for a time, and yeah. It was part of my life for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we go back to your mom, when you were growing up, do you remember her doing any nice things for herself?
With the connected to the period or in general?
Could be, or just in general. Like, do you feel that she knew when to rest or do nice things for herself or take that time for herself and she could communicate that? Or was she like, go, 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 you must be productive all the time?
Yeah, she was like this go go go. She was a single parent as well. She didn't have the luxury or the any. She didn't have the opportunity to really stop. A part of holidays, when yes, she would really enjoy it and she would really indulge in rest. She would work so much, so many hours a day, and yeah, through anything, winter period, no periods, she would just have to kind of hammer on, and she had to be the provider in. So she definitely, and we had this conversation that had to disconnect from those seasons, from those rhythms, to just be productive and consistent and bring money and bring food on the table, because she had two children to look after, and extended family as well to look after. So I don't remember her. She didn't do, I think, many things for herself, although she was a woman that, took care of her hair and her skin, and she put makeup on, and she wore like really beautiful tailored like suits, and she would take care of her outer appearance, but she would not really protect time to go and be on her own and journal, or I don't know.
Yeah. And do you think that has reflected onto you at any point in your life?
Yeah, a lot of that I learned from her. A lot of that go I have learned from her, and I can be pushy like this. I can push through. I can be very stubborn and very like cut through rock. I'm gonna get there, kind of, which is something I learned from my mom, and it served me very well often. But sometimes it doesn't serve me because I forget my softness, or I tend to not find the balance. So maybe overindulge in sleep and just laying around and doing nothing. Or just feel like I indulge in that for a long stretch of time, and then I push through, and so it's a bit like polar, a bit bipolar with this. Like, yeah, it would be nice to have maybe more bits of rest inserted through the day. So bits of rest, and then being productive and coming back to rest, and knowing how to do this a bit more fluidly in through the days. Yeah. But yeah, I have not been modeled this, so I'm learning. I had my grandmother who was resting all the time because she had health issues. I had my mom who was go go go. So I think inside of me I have those two voices, so I can go into one or another. I can become like grandmother and just like, I can't live a life, everything is too much. And, just going to lay and have a nap now in the middle of the day, and then extend it for another day, and then extend it for another day. Oh, I'm a productive woman, I'm a business woman, let's get going, let's go live, let's make some sales, and oh my god, yeah. So,
They're great observations. Like you got your mum on this side and then grandmother on this side.
Push, pull, and yeah, it's quite.
Yeah. And if we were just to describe some femininity words or feminine words, such as like cooperative, nurturing, going with the flow, creative, intuitive, what would you say about those in your environment and in your personality and the activities you do?
Like I would say in my environment, it is very warm, nurturing, colorful. It's I focus a lot on cooking, on nurturing, trying new recipes, making homemade things more, learning how to ferment foods, learning how to make my own ghee, and making like brews, infusions, and things like this, connecting to plants, connecting to like nutrition and supporting my body with like different minerals and learning about this stuff. Yes, movement, dancing, it's not as present, but I know it's something that gives me a lot of joy. Also yin yoga, it gives me a lot of joy, slowing right down and being in my body. Yeah, I think also how I have a joy for putting like accessories on, putting a pair of earrings and or color, textures, like how I dress. Nice to play with this.
What about your personality?
My personality?
Yeah, what's feminine about your personality?
I don't know. It's a great question. Nobody ever asked me. Oh, okay. My personality, I guess I'm much more introverted. I have an introverted tendency, so I guess that is maybe more feminine or more yin. I don't know if feminine, but it's more yin side of life. I'm quite reactive like this and quite sensitive and yeah, quite emotional. I'm very feeling and empathic kind of personality.
Do you think you're cooperative, nurturing?
I am nurturing. I feel I am nurturing. I'm learning also how to maybe ask before I go ahead and nurture because it's not always what people need. But yes, I am like this. I want to support. I am cooperative. I feel like I'm not competitive like that. I am competitive with myself, but I'm not competitive with others. Like I can feel very comfortable in championing other women and sharing about their work. I feel good about this. But
Yeah.
I work on my own. So I work on my own. So in that way I can be also quite individualistic. So I don't need to be always in a pack.
Yeah. And keeping those feminine words in your head, how do you think your mother's femininity shaped you?
My mom, at her very essence, she's a very feminine woman. She's a very creative woman. She wanted to be a painter. She's very talented like that. And due to circumstances, she and her own personal choices and what was available, then she disconnected from that. So she cut off completely from her artist self, from that the creative self, the painter self. She disconnected. So I wonder if I have the same tendencies. Yes, I do have the same tendencies to not prioritize the things that make me happy and to put profit sometimes over my joy. So to put that as my main productivity, ticking things off and money can override my my need for different things as I'm learning with this, like what I need in inner spring, what I need in my needs, I can override them like my mom did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in the same situation as her though. I have a choice. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, so it's not as acute as with her, but I can see I do it. I still do it where I don't prioritize the things that make me joyful and replenish me. Mm, they're not first on the list. They are like extras.
Mm.
Yeah, which is not so great because but then I get resentful because I don't get my joy from productivity or from numbers, from ticking money goals and saving goals and investment goals. It's like, yes, it's good, but it's not fulfilling, like it's not nourishing for my system as much.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting observations about yourself.
Good
Very
question.
interesting. And
Yeah.
how do you think your relationship with your father shaped your attitude towards men?
That's great because it's so relevant though. Well, with my father, I was in a blame circle for a very long time. Um, yes, wanting him to provide, wanting him to offer emotional support, and simply asking at the wrong door, asking at the wrong person, a person who was not able to offer any of that because he wasn't given and he wasn't present physically, and also addicted personality. He had his alcohol addiction. So he couldn't really see me or provide for me or support me. So I kept blaming men, all men, especially the close men to me, especially them. They would get that blame that I would have for my father, and I would try to make them feel less somehow, to take revenge on my father, on them, on a subconscious level, and to get them to say sorry. And yeah, I'm starting to work on this and see that I was very, very dysfunctional from my side, and toxic from my side, because I was trying to complete a cycle that I need to complete with my father, not with this other man. They have nothing to do. And I need to complete it with my child, who needs my validation for, yes, all the things she didn't get, and to go through the grief that, of course, rightfully I would feel, as I didn't get my needs met by my caretaker, my main male figure in my life. So, but yeah, like that really cut deep, and it kept spreading through all the relationship with men. That blame and resentfulness and neediness and demanding energy, like I need it like this, and I need it from you now, and you owe me, kind of, this kind of feeling that, yeah. So it created very dysfunctional dynamics in my intimate relationships. But luckily I can see it.
Yeah.
And luckily I can change it from now on, because it's a big cost to keep going that way, and big cost, and it's very hurtful for the men as well as for me, because that's not how I get my needs met, by demanding and blaming another person. That's how I surely will again not get my needs met. in a way it's kind of creating the same cycle. So yeah, so time for a change
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
And do you want to attract marriage and children into your life? What's your dreams for that?
Children, I am not sure. I'm more towards a no. I might not be wanting this in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I mean, I something big might need to shift, maybe in my relationship with my inner child, to maybe want children, or maybe I just it's just not my thing this lifetime.
Yeah.
But yeah, marriage. I am looking for a partnership that is that feels there is a partnership, there is a creation there, that it's a mutual choice to create something lasting. I don't know. Yeah, I don't resonate so much with the marriage in the Western style or religious style. We will have to create our own. I think, yeah, put this on in the comment that, yeah, I feel more like we create our own vows and we create our own ritual. But yeah, somebody that wants to stay and somebody that I can stay with and choose back. Yeah.
Yeah. And with all this work you're doing on your feminine energy, and with the feminine energy can really attract the masculine, whether that's a relationship or whether that's like tangible success in the world, what would you like to attract in your life right now?
With the feminine energy, yeah. Yeah, so at the moment I'm working on attracting a soul partnership. I'm working on giving myself permission to go for my dreams and to go traveling and exploring different communities. And so I'm attracting those kind of experiences, and I'm going after doing what needs to be done to create them. As well. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, it's my tiny house village project as well, where I'm feeling, yes, much more in the attractive phase, where I am curious and I allow other people to come with ideas and to offer me support and maybe give me little directions of how it can come about. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. There are amazing dreams to work towards. And you're going to Vietnam, aren't you? Is that right?
I'm going to Bali and to Vietnam in September. So yes, that's another thing where I need to just say yes and to go and have this experience, because and to give it as a gift to myself, because I'm talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, that's very exciting.